Good morning, crew, and happy Tuesday. So, today we're going to jump on into it. We got 3 blocks. The first 2 blocks are going to be rep based, so that means that for the first block, it's going to go up by 5 reps every round. So we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 4 rounds total. Second block, we go down by 5 reps every round, so we got 15, 10, 5. And that third block is going to be timed on the minute for about 2 to 3 rounds. So what's going to work out is we want the medicine ball for the first block. If you don't have a medicine ball, you can always use a dumbbell to mimic most of the movements. I'll talk about options there. Second block, you want a kettlebell. Again, you can mimic those movements with a dumbbell as well. For the half get up, you can always do it without any weight, especially if you're still practicing just on that form. And then on the third block, we need a band. If you don't have a band, that is fine as well. We'll give you some options there. So that first block, we start with med ball push-ups. So from knees or from toes, as you go down for the push-up, you come back up, then you pass the ball to the other side, going down for that push-up, drive back up. Again, we're just destabilizing where those hands are. So again, if you don't have med ball, just give me normal push-ups. From there, we go to that wood chop, pivot that back heel, drive it up and over the opposite shoulder, and repeat. Your arms are relatively straight, so you're not bending those elbows in between. You're going to keep that core tight and make sure you always pivot that back heel as we go. We're going to do right and left there. And that's going to take us squat into overhead press, where you feed that head through those arms, control it right back down, and drive it on up. That option in, don't press overhead if you have shoulder issues. We then take it to the ground for that Russian twist, keeping that core engaged, shoulders down, back, going side to side. Again, right and left count as 1 rep. So for block 1, we'll do 5 of everything. Again, right and left, 5, then 10, then 15, then 20, before we take a break and go to block 2. So without further ado, let's go ahead, grab those weights, and get moving in 3, 2, and 1. We've got 5 med ball push-ups. Again, knees or toes for this one, keeping that core engaged. Going down for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we stand it up. We've got 5 wood chops per side. Hinge at that back heel. Drive it up. Squeeze that core. 3, 4, 5. Switching sides. Again, keeping that shoulders out back. Core engaged. 3, 4, 5. Squat to overhead press for 5. Sit down, float it up. 3, 4, and 5. We got those Russian twists. 5 per side. Shoulders down back. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. Now we go into 10 reps of everything. So same exercise, it's just going up by 5. Again, you can go at your own pace. Pause me if you need it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we got 10 windmills per side. You can pivot that back heel. Squeezing that core. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switching sides. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Squat to press. Sit down in those hips. Drive it on up. And repeat. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Going down that Russian twist. 10 on each side. Shoulders back, core tight. 9, 10. After those 10 reps, we go into 15, starting with those push-ups. Keeping that core engaged, knees are toes as we go. And 15. Going into those wood chops, 15 per side. Ooh. Pivot that back heel, core is tight. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, switching sides, 15 the other way. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ooh. Now we got those 15 squat, overhead presses. You can squeeze that core as you exhale the ball overhead. Russian twist. We got 15. That means we go up to 20 reps of everything, starting with those push-ups. Again, knees are toes through. Last round here, that 20 rep round. Halfway. 19, and 20. 20 wood chops per side. Again, pivot that back heel, keep that core tight. Eight, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oofda. Ooh, watch. Letting those balls go too much. 18, 19, 20. Other direction. Back hip. Over that shoulder. Ooh. Now 20 squat, the overhead press. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, almost there. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Russian twist going side to side. Then we get that nice little break. Shoulder blades back. Squeeze that core. 8, 9. Halfway. 18, 19, 20. Woo. Shaking on out. Let's talk about our next round of exercises, which we'd use a kettlebell for. If you don't have a kettlebell, that's fine. We can always use a dumbbell, similar, and I'll talk about those slight differences. So the first is a half get up. Again, you can always do this with no weight and put a shoe on your knuckle. Make sure the shoe doesn't fall off. That way you know your wrist is straight, shoulders locked, and you're activating the right muscle. So for that half get up, if I'm pulling that weight, my eyes are on my thumb. I'm gonna exhale and drive up to the opposite elbow. Notice how I'm stacking shoulder over elbow all the way up to my thumb. I should be lifting that rib cage, engaging that core. Then I press up on my palm. When I come back down, I go down, collapse inward, and repeat. So I'm gonna start off 15 on each side here, focusing on that core, locking out those shoulders. After 15 on each side, I stand up for that windmill. So feet wide apart, my hands on my thigh, eyes on that thumb. Again, holding the kettlebell or dumbbell. Hinge back at those hips as low as we can, then drive it up. We should be engaging that core and pushing our butts back so we don't feel this in that low back, keeping those shoulders together that whole time. That's gonna take us into cleans, where we hinge back in those hips like we're doing deadlift, snap up right along that body to get into that clean, and right along that body to take it right back down. Notice how my thumb is staying right along the midline of my body. That option again, using that dumbbell or just giving me that upright row, trying not to shrug as you go. From there, we're gonna hold on to the weight for that swing. So hinging back like that deadlift, core is tight, snap it up, control it on down. Trying to really squeeze the butt and back of the legs to get you up. Core is tight. Notice how I'm ending nice and tall. I'm not hyperextending through that back. So let's give you our next set of exercises. We start 15 reps each side, then we go to 10, then we go down to 5. So let's shake it out. And without further ado, take it up when you're ready. I'm gonna take off my little bracelet and start with those half get-ups. Again, that option is no weight at all. Shoulders locked back, core is tight. So to drive it up to that elbow, lifting that rib cage. Press up, take it down, collapse into it. Again, really lift that rib cage. Stacking everything And keeping that tight form. Eyes staying on the thumb with the weight. Remember, you can always do this without any weight at all. Putting a shoe on that knuckle. Lift that rib cage again since we're not standing up. I'm not going to critique too much on where those legs go. We've got just 5 more reps to go after this. You're going to take that break if you need it. Last 2. Collapsing it down. We go ahead and take that weight over to the other side. And then I've got 15 reps going the other way. Again, still making sure everything stacks. Core tight. Drive up to that elbow. Pinch those shoulder blades together, lift that rib cage, press up on the palm, going right back down, keeping in control. If you're using that weight and you do not use that shoe and you notice that wrist is bending on you, nay, try to straighten it out. That was a little bit too straight through. Make sure again you pause on that point and then drive up. Don't just go straight up to the palm. We want to make sure everything stays nice and tight. One more rep, and then we switch it to those windmills. Yes, crew. Now we got 15 windmills on each side. Again, those wider feet. Keeping that core tight, locking that shoulder down back. Hinge back at that hip. Eyes on your thumb. Then drive it right back up. This block isn't necessarily about speed. Make sure you keep that good form. Locking it out. And 15, switching sides. Again, if you notice that your shoulder starts to move when it shouldn't, you can always drop out of that movement a little early, get back to neutral, reset. 15, 14, keeping that shoulder locked, and 15. Whew. Going into those 15 cleans per side. Again, hinging back at those hips, drive it up. If you're using that kettlebell, it gently goes around so it's not thumping on that forearm. You can throw those hips forward, big shrug back. 15 reps. $14, 15, switching sides, hinge it back, 15. $12, 13, 14, and 15. Going into those 15 swings, hinging back at those hips, core is tight, just like a deadlift. Snap it and catch it. Those forearms should come up by that groin when you're going down in that hinge. $13, 14, and 15. Then we go down to 10 reps of everything, starting with those half get-ups. Ooh, that was kind of scary. Again, locking out that core, locking those shoulders down back, drive up to that elbow, everything stays stacked, eyes on that thumb, take it up, collapse it on down, just 10 reps per side. Readjust as you need to. And 10. Going to that other side, 10 reps. Then lock it out, drive it up. Make sure everything is nice and tight before you drive it to that palm. Nine. One more after this. 10. Love it, crew. Next up, we got those windmills. 10 on each side. You can take those shoulder shakes real quick if you need them. Arms up, feet wide, shoulders locked back. Eyes on that thumb as we hinge back. Drive it up. Again, playing with that range of motion based on how your body feels. Core is tight to save that low back. more. And 10. Ooh. Switching sides. Lock it back. Eyes on that thumb. And 10. Ooh. Get into those cleans, hinge those hips, drive it up, right back down. Switch inside. Six, 7, 8, 9. Here we go for 10. We got those 10 swings. And then our final round of these at 5 reps. 8, 9, and 10. Going down that ground, we got 5 of everything. Starting with those calf get-ups. Again, making sure that you're locking everything down before we take it up. Just 5 reps, keep it clean. We're going to switch sides, 5 on the other, lock down those shoulder blades, drive it and squeeze it. And 5, locking it down. We're going to take it up into that windmill, 5 per side. Focusing on the hinging back with those hips. Again, playing with that range of motion as we go. Keeping those eyes on that thumb. Shoulders locked. 1 more. Switching sides, 5 on that side. Again, if that hip's opening up for you, try to get a little lower. One more. Now we got those 5 cleans per side. Hinge with those hips. Snap it on up. Right back down. 5 on the other. 4 and 5. Going into 5 swings. Hinging back with those hips. Core tight. 4, 5. Ooh. Tell you what, crew. We've got 1 block to go. This block's gonna be timed. So on this one, you want that band. Again, if you don't have the band, follow along with the movements. Just focus on the tension going out of the knees. So if you have that band, we're gonna put it on either right below or right above those kneecaps. Hurt. Go for derb. If you have man leg hair, it might pinch. If you have lady leg hair, it might pinch. And if you have leggings on, it'll catch in those leggings. So Feet shoulder width apart. Keep the tension out of those kneecaps. We sit back at those hips, and that first minute, we're just gonna do that lateral walk. So we step to the right, step to the left. Notice how I always have a gap between my feet, meaning they never come all the way together. Rather, I keep them 6 inches apart. From there, we've just got squats for that minute. Sit down into it as low as we can. Drive it up, tension out those knees. We take down the ground for that bridge. For the bridge, again, tension out the knees. Drive up for 1 count, 2 counts down. Squeezing the core, butt back of legs as we go. We then sit it up, quickly move that band down. So it's going to be around the widest part of the feet. And we go into that bicycle crunch. Opposite elbow to opposite knee. Going side to side. Squeezing that core. Again, you can always let the shoulders stay down towards the ground. Then we put that band back up. Stand it up and repeat that block. Starting with that lateral band walk. We're going to go through this, I believe, just twice. But if we have time, we'll go through it a 3rd time. And if you're following at home, you can always count, put on your own stopwatch as well. So, without further ado, let's get ready. We've got that lateral lunge or lateral squat walk in 3, 2, and 1 minute here. Sit down in those hips. Tiny steps to the right. Again, the lower you go and the smaller you make those steps, the more you can feel. Look at that booty. Chest proud, looking good. Halfway through. Again, you can always play trying to get a little lower. Keep that chest proud. Take some smaller steps, tension out those knees. We got just 15 to those squats. Your option, you can always add weight to the next 2 exercises. Let's get ready, crew. We're gonna take it to those squats in 3, 2, and 1. Sit down in those hips, drive it on up. And then slow down, 1 count up. Again, play with keeping that tension out those knees. As we go down and drive it up, if you see that your knee knocks in on you, try to watch for it. Coming up 30 down, 30 to go. Looking solid, crew. Keeping those legs moving. We're going to take it down to that bridge in 3, 2, and 1. Bridge position. Knees apart. We drive up for 1 count. 2 counts down. Squeeze the glutes. Squeeze the core. Again, you can always add some weight right on those hip bones. Make sure those knees stay out. If you feel like they come in as you're doing those bridges, Nene, put that tension out there. We're 30 down, 30 to go. Remember, it's going to be a quick transition, trying to move that band down towards the widest part of the feet for the bicycle crunch. Just 15. We switch in 2 and 1. Quickly get that band down so it's around the widest part of your feet, and then start that bicycle crunch. And if we can keep them flat, bonus points. If you can't, best effort there. Opposite elbow, opposite knee, pushing through that heel. Looking solid, crew. We got 30 down, 30 to go. Then we're going to do another quick transition to get that band up. 15. Let's get ready to get back to that lateral walk in 2 and 1. Let's get that band up, step it up, and start that lateral walk as quick as we can. Get bonus points when we keep those bands nice and flat. That's what gets us the most bang for our buck. Sitting down in those hips. Small steps to the right and the left. Ease, crew. Last 3 minutes are started. Or 4 minutes. I can tell time. Unless you really want to do an extra round. Keep that tension out, those kneecaps. Just stay proud, get lower if you can. 15. Let's get ready to squat it in 3, 2, and 1. Squat it, feet shoulder width apart. Keep those tension out at those kneecaps. Playing with that count. 1 up, 2 to 3 down. Looking solid here. We're coming up 3rd down, 30 to go. We got just 15. Let's get ready for that bridge in 3, 2, and 1. Take it up to that bridge, squeeze the top, control it back down, feel those glutes and hammies on fire. Remember, at the end of this minute, that quick transition into our last minute work, that bicycle crunch. Looking solid here, crew. Last 15. Let's start to make that transition for that bicycle crunch in 3, 2, and 1. Quickly getting that band to go down around the widest part of the feet. And then we get a bicycle it on out. Pushing through that heel. Keeping that core nice and tight. Looking solid here, crew. You got just over 30 seconds. Really try to work it. Last 15. Crew, get that break in 3, 2, and 1. You're done. Whew.